There's a Persian poet and Sufi master by the name of Rumi who makes or had made some quite amazing statements. And one of them for me that really rings true is around the fact, in fact, the quote being that there is one thing in this world which you must never forget to do. Let's find out what that is. This is a place where those who suspect they're innately wise, brilliant and powerful come to learn how to transform their lives, one cognition, one realization and one blinding flash of the obvious at a time. We are the innovators, the record breakers, the world makers and creators of all kinds. We supersede the suppressive worldview of mass ignorance and awaken the strength within. We are waking up to our innate secrets. My name is Dr. Mark Postles and welcome to the Innate Secrets podcast. Rumi said that human beings come into this world to do particular work. That work is their purpose and each is specific to the person. If you forget everything else and not this, there's nothing to worry about. If you remember everything else and forget your true work, then you will have done nothing in your life. Now, this is a very profound statement, I think, in that we don't always know whether we're working to our purpose. We don't always know whether we're doing our true work. So, how is it that we can then do nothing in our life if we don't know? And I guess that's one of those great challenges of life is that, we are called on as a unique individual. If you look around, there's no one the same as you. Even identical twins are different. So there's likely never been and probably never will be a replication of you. So in that context then, with the amazing neurological networks that you've taken on board that have shaped your physiology, they've shaped your psychology, then that is unique. It is totally unique. We are a unique footprint or fingerprint or brush stroke on the tapestry of life. So from that, then we have to assume that there is some ramifications of our actions that leads to something in its wake, and that's the uniqueness. That's the particular work that we're here to do, and one could then assume that that's also our purpose, and it is specific to us as an individual. And there may be a time that we realise that, and there may be a time that it's realised way after our departing. I mean, Rumi was some 800 years ago, and yet his words and his poetry are still being read and consumed, and he's a top-selling author in many areas. So what's the deal? He wrote as he saw it, and yet it's resonating way beyond his time. Take, for example, the simple little honeybee. It gets out of bed every morning and it goes about doing what's right for it. It's an innate drive that causes that honeybee to go out seeking the nectar that it needs and that it wants, and that the sweet stuff that it can take back to the hive and feed the queen and feed the larva and so forth. So that's the nature of this honeybee. It's simply there doing what it loves to do and doing what nurtures and supports it in terms of the way that nature has it all structured. And yet, as a result of that honeybee is leaving a purpose. It's almost at right angles to its actions. It's a tangential effect that this honeybee is having on the planet. That it's arguably an important ingredient to our survival on the planet, and yet it's probably oblivious to it. I don't think the honeybee gets up in the morning and contemplates its role in the procreation of the plant species and therefore sustaining the animal species. It just gets up out of bed and it does what it does and what it loves to do, and it leaves others to be the judge of whether or what its purpose is. So the it's been said by many people that we don't actually invent our purpose. We detect it. It's a trail that it leaves behind. It's a clues that we get that this is right. It's a feeling of inspiration that we get when we're doing something. It's a passion that comes with that. And so listen to that. Don't be too cerebral or intellectual around this, because it's something which is just innate to us. It resonates with us. It may not resonate with the person next to you and beside you and behind you. There's a different resonation that takes place at a different frequency for every person. So you have your purpose, and honor that purpose. Be really aware of that purpose. And you find yourself doing things that don't resonate with it or don't make it sing, then that's maybe not for you. Or maybe it's a step along the process, but make sure you can still hear the beating of the drums. You can still hear the calling of that purpose, no matter how faint at times it may be. Because sometimes we do have to take detours in order to get through around obstacles. So, Sarah Trimmer said this way, that every living creature that comes into the world has something allotted to him to perform. Therefore, he should not stand an idle spectator on what others are doing. And we probably have erred more on the vicarious side of things in our life in the last probably 20, 30 years, where we've become great spectators and we worship the top performers, but we don't necessarily do much about our own performance. And so, as Sarah says, look, be aware that you have been allotted something. You've been allotted a purpose. You've got a purpose there within you. It's not from outside, it's inside, it's innate. It's one of the big innate secrets that you have, is that you have a purpose. And so get out there and use it. Get out there and do something with it, rather than just letting others go ahead and fulfill their purpose and be amused by that or entertained by that. So we discover our purpose. So what a useful thing to ask yourself, which is a good starting point, and something that I certainly have done in many contexts of my life to uncover and discover what it is that drives me, is ask yourself, what's the urgent problem out there in the world? What is the thing that really irks you, the thing that you hate, the thing that you just do not want to happen, and yet it is happening? What is that big problem? And for me, I came to the recognition a long time ago that there are a lot of people living their lives in ignorance of themselves and of others. That always follows. So they're ignorant of their own beauty. They're ignorant of their own essence and their own innate wisdom. And so this costs them in poor health and in crappy relationships and low productivity, of lost opportunity and decreased prosperity. And, life is not as full as it could be because of that. And I see that as being endemic. It's something that's throughout society, and I don't think it should be. And that, to me, is a problem. Now, other people may see that and say, well, that's just the way it is. So, I see it and say, yeah, that sucks. That is not okay. And so my viewpoint on that then would be to seek a solution. If there's a problem there and the problem repulses me, then there's a tendency to want to solve it, to want to do something about it. So for me, and this is just my personal thing, is that, and hence, in fact, this is one of the major drivers behind the innate model, is that I've stated it this way, that, look, I'm here to reconnect millions of people around the world with their innate brilliance. And I'm here to empower them to live the life of their dreams, so that they can be and do and have what is, in essence, their divine birthright. I'm here to allow people to recognize that life doesn't have to be physical bound and bound up in rules and regulations of external authorities, and diminish ourselves as a human being in order to survive. We are much more than just a little pile of maladies. We are magnificent within ourselves, and often we don't realize that. And so part of my purpose there is to wake people up to that, wake people up to their brilliance that lies within, and allow them to ascend to a higher level of consciousness and contribution on this planet in this physical form. So that's just my little thing. But just to give you an example, yours is going to be different, but what I'd suggest you do is to prompt it by asking yourself, well, what's this urgent problem out there? What is the thing that sucks? What is it that you don't like? What is it you want to change? And then looking at, what do I bring to it? What is my answer to this? What is the solution that I can offer? It may be very, very unique. It may be parallel with some others as well, but will have a unique slant to it because there's a special something that you bring to life that no one else does. So this is about deciding on what it is and running it by yourself, and your physiology will tell you. You will feel it when you cognite on it. You just get that beautiful feeling of warmth and the feeling of, yes, I'm on track. So play with that one. Enjoy your innate wisdom coming out to play, and notice what it does to your body, your mind, and your life, and those around you. Let us show you how to fire your brain in ways that serve you so that you can be confident, connected, and bring joy and passion into what you do every day. Get a free copy of my book, The Innate Model. Go to theinnatemodel.com/free book.